I'm gonna let Shola. I'm gonna let you carry on for me because you're better than me at this time.
Yeah. No, no, no. It's not Tony. No, no, no. It's not. I reject that. It's not a case of better. I think Tony, you put it across, and I think you know what I'm going to say this about you, Tony. Many people maybe don't know. I think you said it on the first show. You know, me and Tony go way back, 40 plus years, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah.
We were at school together. Tony always tells everybody that I was his prefect, his
He's my
senior, and
he's
all
my
this.
he's my
But
prefect, man.
he's
He used to put me in line. Said, and the headmaster of the college. You know, one thing he said to me. He said, "These are the prefects." He said, "Look at the prefects." He said, "You, Mr. Bello, Mr. Tony Bello, you will never ever be a prefect in this school because you are so bad." But I turned out good at the end.
he turned out, yeah. You see how life turns out. No, but I'm saying all that. So seriously, to say, look, Tony, you put everything across brilliantly. And look, you broken it down well. All I wanted to add to what you were saying. Great to have different religions or different mindsets here, and I think, yeah, zoning in on this faith thing because posing the question out there, doesn't the faith aspect then bring us into or open up that spiritual side of things? Because let me put this question out to us guys. For us to matter, all right, in the physical, this is taking away the religious part and so forth now. I'm concentrating on the faith making an inroad or having that ripple effect into the spiritual, our spiritual intelligence, then, as it were, right? For a man to matter, for a person to matter in this physical realm, in this world, isn't it right that a position must be adopted? For example, what I'm trying to get to is that our words, don't they matter? Is our words is what we ascertain and gain and glean through that spiritual um, faith aspect? Isn't that our currency above the pounds, the dollars, the naira? Because if you've not got a certain standpoint in that realm, listen, you could be going around like a headless chicken going all over the place. There won't be any achievement. And that can happen in our personal life, it can happen in our business life, and so forth. Because if we've not got that through our faith, if we're not getting that visibility, it means that we've got no influence. Right? So it doesn't matter really then what our mindsets are, what our opinions are, what our concepts are, whether what products, services, whatever we've got, if we're not gaining what they call a territorial advantage via that spiritual realm, I'm putting it out there. Isn't this the thing then that ignites the faith? Because when you see that your faith is active and your faith is working, it means that something has happened somewhere.
Mm.
Yeah. So we're going off the page now of just standalone being religious. Oh, look at me, holier than thou. I'm a good person. X, Y, and Z. Yes. Where is your evidence? Where's the evidence that that faith you're talking about allows the success, allows the protection, allows the provision? You understand? And I venture to say that this is why, in some cases, where people have looked at the religion per se, and then they're looking at somebody's life and they can't see the progress, for example. Yes, and I think that's why in the title, where we talked about, is it just a thing of comfort? Because somebody mentioned earlier then that religion can sometimes make people lazy because we think, okay, we're just praying to an entity, but there's no results coming. So to a degree, one can just stay in a state of apathy, thinking, well, you know what? I'm praying, but I may not necessarily believe in my prayer. Yeah, and that demonstrates a lack of faith. So they're going through I used the word before, legalistic. You're going through the motions of the prayer and of the certain stance, but nothing is happening. Yeah, and I believe that as guys, then as men especially, at the helm of affairs, in our homes, businesses, leaders, and so forth, there's got to be some kind of stance that make people think, yes, you know what, that man, Yaya, Tony, Greg, whoever, Larry, is aligned, and therefore this is why X, Y, and Z is happening. right? This is why certain successes.
I
Yeah.
with you.
Can I just clarify? I'm not an atheist. I'm complex.
I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
Okay.
Mark and I go back a long way too. He was in college with me. He was in college with me.
Which college? Which college?
Southwark College.
Okay.
College.
Did someone want to say something?
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Yes, please. About the praying and looking up, being lazy. You're praying, you have faith, but nothing happens. That can only happen if you're not doing anything. You can only pray and have faith towards something you're doing. You cannot pray just, what are you praying about? Prayer is doing, you're talking to God for something you want. Prayer, you're asking for something. You're looking up to something which you are doing. What are you praying for? You cannot just pray on an empty bag. You pray for what you can. That created man to thank him, ask him for mercy, and to praise him. But if you're praying and not doing nothing, it doesn't matter if you have the faith in what. So I think these two words, the prayer and the faith, link to something you're doing. Even Jesus was a shepherd, was a carpenter. All these people, prophet in all these religions, they all do something. They're all doing something which is work, which brings them some income for them to look after their family. So when we talk about prayer and faith, it is not an empty vessel we should link it to. It should be something we're doing, something that we have the faith that this work I'm doing, this thing I'm doing, what I'm praying for will bring me something as I pray for it. And when it happens, it happens. And the other thing I want to say, there are plans, there are time for every purpose. Sometimes people pray, it doesn't happen when you ask, but when the time is right. When the time, so it doesn't matter if you're praying, it doesn't happen then. You'll go and say to the pastor or I've been praying in your church and nothing has happened. I've been praying in your mosque, nothing happened. With faith, it will happen because you continue doing something. You're not just praying and then going to sleep. You're praying and doing something which you believe will yield you something for you and the family, as a man, for you and the family. So I think we should look at it as something backed up by something you're doing. Praying with faith has to be backed up with something you're doing, which you have a belief in will produce benefits for you and your family and people around you, or community, or whatever you're praying towards or you have your faith towards should happen. So I don't see praying as an empty vessel or faith as an empty thing that you just no. It has to be linked to something that will benefit you yourself, a family, a community, or to achieve on. That's my take on that, on the faith and prayer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just to make it clear, you broke it up. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah. Just to be clear, I'm not over. You haven't misread what I said. I'm not saying that prayer. It's a.
I follow you.
What they call it, a rhetorical question. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that prayer is an empty thing. I'm just saying that generally we're trying to make this into a very what they call it, a rhetorical situation where if that is happening, I'm saying people that may not have any belief system, as Femi rightly said, that really what we need to be doing also is looking at people's individual belief systems, because without that, again, we're kind of talking very. It's a massive subject, isn't it? It's a massive topic that we've got on board here, and different caveats to it. Yeah, Femi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Should there be any gray areas with my input? I want to make sure I'm significantly understood. When I mentioned, I strongly believe faith, as I stated, I've actually gotten to that point where you'd like Did I claim to be of the Christian persuasion because I was raised by Christian family? No, no. Because one, I can understand. I've seen areas where those that are of the advocacy that Christianity is a foreign religion, Hindu is a foreign religion as far as African is concerned, Islamic is a foreign. I can understand and all that. But I tend to align with the commonality that entails in all these quote unquote religion and all that. Because I believe faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But first, you have to get to the point of understanding where you're at. You cannot go beyond your level of understanding. As I speak, we all have individual degrees of understanding of the subject matter, and I respect that. But like I said, I've come to that level of understanding where for me to be able to love my neighbor as myself, something is pivoted to that, and that's my neighborhood. I don't mean, please get me right, I do not mean my physical neighborhood. Spiritual neighborhood is paramount. Intellectual neighborhood is paramount. Physical, emotional, just name it, is paramount. And the more you get to that level of understanding, it brings about speedy, significant level of understanding when any subject is raised. I do not believe people have the tendency to be bad or good and all. It's all about alignment. You are either compatible with my belief system or you're not.
I agree with you, Femi.
I'm either compatible with your belief system or you're not. This is not to say you're bad or I'm bad, you're good. No, it's just about compatibility of belief system. I want to quickly say this. You know, there are people, even in, I understand, I was reading the other day in Canada that it's common in Canada that when you get to a house, you have got, it's averagely understood, you have got to get your shoes off. You come to my house, I do not have that kind of value system. I use the word value system. You see the difference? But it's, I'm being made to understand now that in Canada is averagely understood that you get to a place, you've got to look for a place to get your shoes off. You know, so that's someone's value system. Is it that is in alignment with mine? I choose to believe it's in alignment with mine, but I really do not practice it as such a person does, if that makes sense. So back to what I was saying. There is room, if there is room for accommodation, accommodate. If there is no room for accommodation, make it understood. And it shouldn't be taken as an offense. You know, I think before I got to where I'm at now, where I'm at, I used to have issue with all these eating like pounded yam about with fork. This might be funny, man. This might be funny. But my, when I saw the microscopic microbes on our hands as I speak, if you are made to see the microbes on your hand as you speak, you will almost be tempted to wash your hand with bleach.
By the way, I used fork today. It was okay.
You would almost be tempted to wash your hand with bleach. Oh my God. Sometimes when I find myself, I don't have time to wash my hands thoroughly clean. I want cutleries. You can see where someone like me would now inevitably gravitate towards having to eat pounded yam with fork. Why? Because I've been made to see it. I tend to give room for people that have not come to that level of understanding. Yes, that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or as is commonly referred to, 20 seconds washing of hands. Technically, in my opinion, is not enough. If you are made to see the microscopic microbes on your hands as I speak, You will want to wash your hands for at least 1, 2, 3 minutes before you eat with your hands. Let's not digress. Let's not digress. We are talking about spirituality, belief system, faith, and all that. I've listened to everybody's input, and I've come to see that I really do not see significant difference in our disposition. I really do not see significant difference in our disposition. But nonetheless, we can remove the fact that we as individuals are at different level of individual level of understanding of the subject. Back to what I stated with regards to believing in loving my neighbor as myself. But what is pivoted to that is choosing my neighborhood. I'm not referring to physical neighborhood. No. I don't want to get to that point when I'm struggling to understand you. You're struggling to understand me and all that. I'm here today by courtesy of who? I don't need to say that. Well, for most of you that do not know, courtesy of my relationship with Tony. If I do not have that level of understanding or compatibility with Tony's level of understanding with regards to whatever it is that has brought us together, I will not be here. You see what I mean? I will not be here. And what's that? There is significant level of compatibility between myself and the entity that has served as a conveyor to me being here. That's actually where I'm driving at.
Oh,
That's my piece. I need to chip in.
Thank you, Femi, for being compatible. Thank you. Thank you. We got to round up now. But do you want to say something quick? Yeah?
My final thoughts.
Oh, okay, go on. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Everyone's final thoughts.
Okay.
Interesting conversation, I must say. The second part of that flyer, I think Shola was trying to just draw that into one box where he was talking about, does that make one successful? I just want to say that, of course, faith without works is dead. The good book says, so there has to be a corresponding action from you. It doesn't matter what you believe. To be successful, you have to work. You have to put in the work. Just to give an analogy, Mr. Bello has to fly from the UK to Nigeria with 2 suitcases. He had faith. He didn't have people. He hasn't seen anybody, but he had faith that he was going to do business and be successful, so he came down to Africa. Even Jesus himself needed the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes from a little boy. He needed something to multiply. He couldn't do it in a vacuum, if you get what I'm saying. So for you to be successful as a man, you have to work. You have to do something for God for that faith to kick in, to produce the results that you're anticipating. So in a nutshell, I would say that, of course, everyone has got to go to work for success to come in, for your faith to work. Yes. That's my final thoughts, Mr. T. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good, thank you.
You too, thank you. Thank you.
Yaya, do you want to say what last final thoughts?
Yeah, I think I do agree with the statement that religion makes men strong. And you have individual religion or group religion, how you practice it. And I think from our discussions, we brought out faith, we brought out spirituality, we've brought out love, brought out neighbors. And I think, as we've all said, I think we are going to the same point that we have to look at things that where it's not about being lazy. You have to go out there and do something. And it come up to what we discussed the last time. You have to man up in religion. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Anybody else want to say a final comment before we wrap up?
Okay, can I come in?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my take. Now, first what I want to say, because I've been listening and my body's been biting, I want to say something, but because of time, probably next time I'll have time to explain more. Now, the first thing is we talk about religion, then religion leads us to faith, and faith brings spirituality. Now, there's a saying that knowledge, when you have knowledge, you also need to have understanding. Because it's not just you having knowledge, you need to have understanding. And when you have that understanding, if you look at it now, you compare it with religion, faith, then comes God gives you that knowledge, God gives you, then you use it as a spiritual. That is why my own take is spirituality makes you strong. Faith makes you strong, gives you to have an understanding. Some lines of the religion, I don't know, I'm not very sure about Christianity, but Islamically, there's a saying that religion or faith is beyond human comprehension. It's not just, so when you want to dig into it, why most people get confused is like, I think it was Mr. Femi, or they give an example of him being in the hospital. We saw a clip about a nurse, two baby twin, one was going blue. And that thing, when you see people who are spiritual, there's something that lead that lady to like, it's out of, you can see it's not a medical term, that she brought the twin together. And people will say it's a miracle, right? Now, it's because of that belief that she had that led her to that action. So we need to understand something, that religion, yes, is a structural system of belief. That is what leads you to having faith, and faith leads you to having spirituality. If we have that understanding, and one thing is, a lot of time, Mr. Tony might tell me something. If I don't have faith in what he's telling me, I'll only listen. And even if something is telling me that what he's actually saying is real, there might be something in my head that's trying to tell me that, no, don't believe that. And that means I'm not going to be having that faith in that thing. So even when he says that, because I have something in my head that's already telling me don't believe, don't have faith, it's not going to work. If he says, hey, Biodun, you know what? There is the last flight, I'm on the island, is 8 p.m. The last flight is 9 p.m. And he's telling me, take your box, go to the airport. You're going to make that flight. And I'm saying, I need like an hour to get to the airport. When do I board? When do I board and catch the flight? But if he's sending me this, and I've since him practice that, he's giving me that faith, I will go ahead and do it. And God knows, you get to that airport, there might actually be a flight delay. And they'll say, oh, some passengers are not here. But if I don't have that faith, if I don't have that belief, I'll say, no way, Mr. Penny, I'm not going to that. It's not going to happen. But you see, it's all about understanding. It's not, the knowledge I have is, I need more than an hour to get to the airport. But the understanding is, I might actually get to the airport, some things will happen. There could be a flight delay. Some things will happen that, yeah, okay, let's give some people time. It's because of I have that, I'm bringing in the faith, and the Spirit is actually leading me. So I think I'll leave it there for tonight. That's my take. Thank you very much, everybody, for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Greg, one quick one.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I just want to reiterate my own submission, which is the fact that religion does not make you stronger, but it makes you stable. And why am I saying that? If you say religion that makes you stronger in comparison to what? What are you stronger than? Okay, that's actually my own submission. My own submission is that religion makes you stable. And one other thing, I was reading one book sometime, they said, whether it is understood or not, faith has a direct effect on the subconscious mind. And then your subconscious mind is really what matters the most. And, obviously religion is tied to faith, and faith is tied to spirituality. So yes, I believe that it makes you stable, but I don't think it makes you stronger, because there are loads of religious people who are very, very weak. And, we ourselves, we all know we have our own weak areas as well. So again, my submission is that religion makes you what? Stable, but does not make you stronger. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Shola, I'm going to let you sum up now. I've got to get onto another conference call, but over to you, Shola.
Okay. Same with me. Yeah, brilliant, guys. Excellent night. Loads of content. Brilliant. I'm just going to give a couple of points. I'm not going to wrap up too much. Just want to say, look, people, there's a word that says that people perish for a lack.